Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the What's Up Castleberry podcast. We are so thrilled that you have taken a moment out of your day, maybe on your morning walk, maybe on your drive, to listen to us, Castleberry's most popular and possibly only podcast. Thank you for joining us today. We're here with the team. We are also joined in the studio today for our opening and closing section by our guests, Cameron and Reagan, who you will hear more about in just a little bit. Welcome. This is where the sausage is made. What's the phrase?
Where the sausage is made.
The sausage is made, yeah, or the secret sauce or something like that. Anyway, we are soon approaching Mother's Day. We have all in common that we came from a mother. Not to be too bold, but what was your favorite Mother's Day activity that you have ever been a part of? Who wants to go first? Let's start with Carlos.
Yeah, I'll break the ice. I'd say for me, going to this place called... Shoot, now I can't remember the name.
Obviously, very memorable Mother's Day.
Very memorable Mother's Day. I can't remember the name, but it was a breakfast buffet that my mom really enjoyed, and I guess it had originally closed down, and then the new owners opened it up, or the old owners opened up a new location, and we were able to go there like 10 years after the first time we had gone.
Oh.
She really enjoyed that.
That's nice. It's like a little reunion breakfast trip.
Yeah.
I love it.
So I enjoyed that.
Love it. I mean, the story would have been better if you could remember the name of the place. But I mean, it's still a good story.
I'll remember it. 10:30 p.m. as I'm falling asleep.
All right. Well, call Robin and she'll capture that. Yeah. Alia, what about you? Favorite Mother's Day?
I mean, every year, so I have my mom and then my mother-in-law, so we always try to do something for both of them. And we always try to do an activity, like either going to the zoo or, I don't think my mother-in-law listened to this, but we're kind of wanting to do SeaWorld.
Step up your game. Your daughter-in-law is a DJ, and step up your game.
So I feel like every year is always special because we try to do something new and creative and spend time together, like a fun activity. So
I love it. Cameron, Reagan, do you want to kind of just drop a Mother's Day story in here? Any special memories? Places you've eaten that you couldn't remember the name of?
I really don't think I have any, actually. My dad was kind of my dad and mom at the same time, so...
I don't know if I have much. Well, I guess, but it kind of goes off of hers. We used to go to the zoo every year, but I'm now looking back, I'm pretty sure that was more for us than it was for her.
Well, maybe she's just happy you were out of the house. So we can do that. For me, honestly, this may sound very ungrateful, but any day that I can remember it's Mother's Day in England is a good Mother's Day. Because for some reason, the UK Mother's Day, where my mom lives, is very different from the US Mother's Day. Father's Day is the same, so that gets easy, but Mother's Day is different, and without kind of like Hallmark to remind me, it is very easy to forget. So any Mother's Day when I can remember that's actually Mother's Day is a win for me. I think looking the other way down the generational line, I was involved in pastoring a church in Winter Park before we started church together. And it was a Mother's Day that we announced that we were having Bethany to the congregation. And so at the end of the service, I called Tracy up on the platform and presented her with some flowers, and it was a very special day.
Listeners can bear the burden of having to remind you when British Mother's Day is. When is that?
I don't remember.
Okay.
It did. I want to say it's, what are we now? And it's probably kind of early April, maybe. Okay. But it changes every year, I think, too.
Yeah, then that's
it's
then
a very
random
thing.
it's always a Sunday, right?
It is always a Sunday.
Yeah.
Mothering Sunday.
Second.
Listeners, remember to send a text to Andy.
That's right.
for British Mother's Day.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Oh, yeah. Remind him in January to Google when it is so he can put it on his calendar, and we'll do that. Okay, we have spent some time talking about our mums, and we do honor our mums. Let's move now to the dad jokes of the week. So Cameron, Reagan, Robin, what we do is Alia, Carlos, and I will take a swing at a joke, and by measuring the depth of your laugh, we will determine who is bringing the best dad joke to the table, okay? So it's a very important role you have to play here, right? Mine normally wins, so just to prepare you to laugh loud when I do it. All right, let's start with Carlos. You give me a knowing look.
Yeah.
What do you got?
So Cameron probably knows this because of the business that he's in as a handyman. Did you know our local hardware store is giving away dead batteries? Yeah, free of charge.
Hey! Okay, let's just have a little rating out of 10. What do you think?
Solid 6.5.
6.5.
I'm going with it. I'm going with an 8.
It's only gonna get worse. Like, I don't know, because he always just has a good delivery.
She might have thought otherwise. Andy did say that he usually wins, so he was saving some room for her.
Well, there could have been a little bit of bias and hope, wishful thinking there. All right, but 6.5, that's good. Well, let's split the difference, right? Cameron, you said 8, 6.5. We'll call it 7.3. Been generous. All right, Alia, what you got?
So we're recording on Earth Day, so I just wanted to give a statistic. So 70% of the Earth is water, and virtually none of that is carbonated. So the Earth is, in fact, flat.
Okay, very good. Very good. I like what you did there. Let's throw it to our judges. What do you got?
7. It's gonna be a 7 for
You're
me.
gonna make me be the deal breaker
7.
here. Let's see. I think so. I think I'm gonna go with an 8.
For a net score of 7.5. Wow. Wow.
I think that was, like, especially because it's Earth Day. I mean, I like that was a good one.
I don't know if I told you guys, but I just finished writing a book on reverse psychology. Did you know that? Just finished writing a book on reverse psychology. Don't buy it. All right, come on, judges. What do we got?
I feel like we should have had Robin in as one of the judges. That would have helped us out.
Bias against my jokes, don't you, Robin? Yeah, she does.
She agreed. I don't know. I think I know my number.
All right, what you got, Cameron?
I'm gonna go with a 7.
7. 7? Okay. Reagan, what you got? What you got?
7.5.
Oh my goodness! So I think for a total of 7.25. So I would be last, Carlos would be second, and the winner is Miss Alia. Well done. Talking of books, though, I was actually reading that interesting book the other day on the history of glue. Couldn't put it down.
He's looking for bonus points. He's gonna win this now.
No, I mean, Alia won fair and square. But I was at the library the other day, and I asked the librarian if they had any books on paranoia. Do you have any books on paranoia? And she whispered, "They're right behind you."
Well, that reminds me because I went to the pet store and I asked the guy, I was like, "Do you have any chameleons?" And he said, "I honestly couldn't tell you."
Really happy that I won Dad Jokes of the Week. Before we move on to our sponsor shout out, just wanted to give you some Castleberry in the news. And this is actually going on from now until August 31st. And you can find this on the castleberry.org website. And they are doing an Adopt a Tree program. So if you're a Castleberry resident and you want a free tree in your yard, the city of Castleberry has the program to provide a free Florida native tree for your yard. And actually on their website, they have caring instructions, and you can apply now until August 31st, and then you can coordinate to get your new tree.
And this giveaway, which is a great gift to residents, it helps make our city greener, is part of Castleberry's Earth Day celebrations that just happened. Castleberry hosts the largest Earth Day in Seminole County and the second largest in Central Florida. Over 60 vendors from different environmental organizations. And it was a great event with lots of fun, beautiful day, and a good time was had by all. Right, we've celebrated Mother's Day. We have laughed at dad jokes. We've celebrated Castleberry's generosity and celebration of Earth Day. Let's hear a word from our sponsors, and then we'll come back with our special interview.
Church Together connects people together with Christ in community and for our city. Join us for worship at 200 North Triplet Lake Drive in Castleberry, Sundays at 10 a.m. For more information, visit us at ourchurchtogether.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show, to our favorite part of the show where we turn the spotlight on some Castleberry residents. We share their story. We celebrate some of the good and important things that they are doing in the city. And today, we have a soon-to-be husband and wife duo. Maybe a couple of weeks after this is launched, they will be a husband and wife duo, but at the moment they are just a fiance and fiance deal. And we want to welcome to the show Cameron and Reagan, who own two businesses, one in the area of construction and the other an organic Maids cleaning service. And we are going to talk about those a little bit later. But Cameron, Reagan, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Hello. I'm happy to be here.
Yes, sir, as well.
All right, let's jump into questions. Carlos, kick us off.
All right. So, welcome again, and thank you for joining us. If your life was a movie, what would it be called, and who would play you?
So for me, I would have to say Sabrina Carpenter would play me, and the movie would have to be called Sunshine and Hustle, because we're in Florida and we're hustling. So I think that's the perfect mix for me.
Mine would be Built from the Ground Up, because kind of obvious, but and the person would be Mark Wahlberg, because I think he's perfect. I think he's just the right mix of funny and serious. Yeah, right, exactly.
You look a bit like Mark Wahlberg.
I think that's a good thing.
Yeah, it's very attractive. Like his brothers too.
Very
Now,
much
I
so.
never heard of your actress who would play you. What was her name?
Sabrina Carpenter. She was.
Is this an old person thing, or is this
New.
Well, no, yeah, like you would be the old person.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Am I not getting it because I'm old? Do you guys know who it is?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But hey, to be fair, we didn't get the Grease reference.
That's right. Yes, listeners. I was singing a Grease song, Grease Lightning, and I was getting dumbfounded looks from a young team around me.
All five of us.
I know. It's very uplifting. I want to watch those movies, though. I think that's great. I think From the Ground Up works on two levels, right? Construction, and you are a self-made business.
Yeah, absolutely. So you're in Castleberry. Tell us what your favorite local eatery is in Castleberry, or maybe a hidden gem.
You know, we live right across the street from the Castleberry Commons, and there's this little Chinese restaurant called Super 8, and we have went there so many times since we've lived here, and we haven't even been here that long, so I just love that place. They work so hard, too. They're open from, like, morning to, like, 11 p.m. every day.
Every day.
They work so hard. The food is great. I would definitely recommend.
Big shout out to Super 8.
Yes.
You can have Chinese breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Yes.
Exactly. And
His is probably the
there's
same.
sushi. Yes, there's sushi. If you like sushi, their sushi is amazing.
Yeah, I think the sushi's in how they cook it, right? So.
Oh, and
That's great. That was a little Little dad joke for you, a little hangover. All right, so you have both been living in Castleberry for just over a year now, I think. And you have moved here from Pennsylvania via Texas, and you are setting up home in Castleberry. You mentioned that Castleberry is sunny and warm. What are some of the things that you've had to adjust to living in our great city of Castleberry?
I would say the winter still being summer would be one of one of the biggest ones, especially because we lived in Pennsylvania for so long, where winter was 0 degrees, and it doesn't seem like it gets like under 60 here, if rarely.
Socks
on
where they're flip-flops.
I think it's the humidity, just to top it all off, because when we lived in Texas, it was like the dry heat, so you weren't like walking out and just like drenched in sweat. So it's definitely the humidity that adds on top of that. So with the heat, it's a hard adjustment. So I've heard that each summer gets a little better with like how hot it is too.
Yeah, that's a lie.
Oh, okay.
Would you guys testify that's not true?
I think, and this past summer, we left to Michigan for 3 weeks because no, it does not get better. You do not get used to it.
You guys like it.
I'm a reverse snowbird.
That's how we.
So Pennsylvania, Texas, then here to Florida, specifically Castleberry. Why choose Castleberry? Had you heard of it before, Googled it, or just family in town, or just threw a dart?
Nope.
Yeah.
Found an apartment in the area, didn't even look at it first, and moved here. And I'm really glad we did, though, because we moved, and I was like, this is the perfect spot we could have picked in, like, all of Florida, so.
Yeah, we knew we wanted to be in Orlando, but we were in Texas trying to pick a spot in Orlando, which is pretty difficult. So, but we were lucky that we actually did pick a really good spot.
Agree. You picked the best spot. I mean, they say that Disney is the happiest place on earth, but I mean, I've heard the same thing about Castleberry.
Whoever said that has not been to a food truck night in Castleberry at Lake Concord Park.
There you go.
That is the happiest place on earth.
Or has never been to Disney on a 100-degree day. It ain't the happiest place on earth. Should we say that? Do you think Disney will sue us? I know they listen.
Probably. I say, come at us. We can. The amount of press we'll get from Disney sues local Castleberry podcast.
If we want them to sponsor us, though, maybe we should watch ourselves.
Yes, because they are well known for supporting small businesses like ours and local podcasts.
Yeah. The biggest local podcast in Castleberry.
That's right. You know what you should have said? You should have said, well, we'd never heard of Castleberry, but we just did a little podcast sort of.
Yes.
And we moved here because of the podcast.
Yeah, we wanted to be involved.
Was that what you meant to say?
We can re-record.
We're glad you're here. That's a wonderful twist of fate. And it's funny, isn't it, how life, sometimes we take risks and they pay off in good ways.
Yeah. We would have never guessed that this is what everything would have led up to. Like when we first moved here, we were just like, it was chaotic. We were stressed. Like, how are we going to get through this? And why'd we move? And yeah, now that's been the best thing for us. Yeah.
And now you're sitting in a police station recording a podcast. I mean, gosh, what a story.
Yes.
Gosh, what a story.
So you're both small business owners. What is the process of starting a new business, and especially in a new location?
I would say very scary, honestly. Yeah, we have no family here. At least in Texas, we had, family when we moved there. But here, it was just a whole new thing. And not knowing anybody, it's like, are we gonna be successful? Are we gonna have enough business to pay bills? Like, how is this gonna work? And yeah, I think both of us really took a leap of faith and just went full force into it. And yeah, it was really scary, but obviously now, even still have our challenges, of course, every day, but definitely terrifying experience. But we learned so much along the way, so I think it was a big learning experience for us.
I would say finding clients, finding for both of us, finding help, just finding everything. When we first moved here, we didn't, understand we thought 436 was a highway when we first came here. We didn't know why highways had stoplights. We were just like, well, like what?
It's not like an.
I guess interstate was what I was looking for, right? I was like, why is there stop signs on? Why are people going 80? Why are there red lights? Like it was kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Starting a new business and like a new place too, it's like it's so confusing because it's like, oh, do I have the right like credentials, like right everything? And I think it like the whole first year, it was just like figuring out if we were doing things even right and like legal, and it's took us so much time to just figure things out. But yeah, but it was a good experience. So everything we went through was.
Well, I love that you are starting off your story the right way, right? You kind of landed here, you looked around, you've seen opportunities, and you're building it, right? I mean, we're not at the completion of the American dream yet, but you're starting it, right? And I love that. So, Cameron, you work in construction, building, home maintenance, that kind of stuff. Reagan, you work in cleaning. What has been one of your favorite projects that you've worked on, and what is one of the most unique locations that you've worked in? Now, if you don't say yours, Reagan, I'm going to give a prompt because I've got some questions. Okay. Who wants to go first?
I'll say currently I'm doing a outdoor shower, and I would say it's been like my favorite because they're kind of allowing me to do kind of what I want to do with it. They're more so like entrusting me and just kind of doing my own thing. So it's kind of letting like my creativity out with building it, and it's just kind of. There's been a lot of, I guess, good problems, like problems that, you can kind of really use your mind on, really get other people's insight and kind of like really, learn a lot from one experience. And then I would say, obviously not being from here, I think Winter Park is such a cool place to do a lot of work. It's such a little like cool town to be in, You're like 5 minutes from two different totally different sceneries, and it's really cool.
Yeah, I love that. Can I ask about the outdoor shower? Is that like a regular bathroom, or is it like a pool shower, or is it?
Well, it's like a pool shower. Yeah, it's like a pool shower. It's made out of complete all wood, and he wanted it to be like enclosed enough for like privacy, but still open enough, so like, you have air run through it and all that.
I got questions that probably aren't for the radio, but for the podcast. But that's cool. That's really cool. I love it.
I would say for me, it's hard to pick like a project, I think. But for location, I actually clean a museum in Maitland. That's actually where we're getting married. But yeah, I clean the Maitland Art Center, and that was one of the first places like I got when we moved here. So it was really cool, and just a really cool place to clean because it's a old museum, and yeah, it's just really cool to have that opportunity.
And I understand they've had some unusual exhibits that you've had to clean around too, and maybe that's not a conversation to have. But I mean, you don't want to break anything. Yeah.
That is very true. We have to, enjoy it while we're there, and just
To break some museum pieces would be quite costly. It's high trust.
Right. Look but don't touch type of thing.
Yes.
That's right. That's right. Very good.
Yeah. So in business, I'm sure there's often a need to pivot or deal with a new unknown. You're in the middle of a project or cleaning, and a client says, well, I want to change X, Y, or Z, or, a inspector shows up and says, can't do this way, you have to do it this way, or whatever it is. So what would you tell our listeners is kind of the best way to deal with an unexpected challenges as you've dealt with those unexpected challenges? What have you learned and taken away from that?
That's a good question. I guess the way I kind of look at things is, there's always a solution. So just never think that, no matter what, it's just not going to work. Just so you can't think that, and just always realize that there's a solution to everything. So, whether it's just writing things down, like sorting out options, might not be the solution you want to go with, but there's still a solution. So, and I do like to say too and tell myself that never try not to make an immediate decision, especially if there's what's the word? There's a little frustration in a situation because that happens a lot, especially in this business. And, just take a step back, breathe and just try to think what's the best route we can take. And there's always a solution. So
I like that. I was going to say patience because there's been times where, and I'm not a very patient person, but I've learned over, the time that I was here that really is the best solution sometimes because sometimes you, like she said, sometimes you want to, if there's a problem arise, sometimes you want to take immediate action and fix it with just the first thing you think of, but 9 times out of 10, that's not the correct answer. You got to kind of, like she said, take a step back, look at the drawing board and kind of assess and then, continue.
Awesome. So, both being business owners, I'm sure that there's instances where you cross over and help each other in time. So has there been any instances or situations where you've shared business per se or clients or helped each other out?
I'd say
all the time.
Yeah, every week probably at least. Yeah. I remember when we first moved, one of the first clients I got was a big move out of an apartment, and it had been very neglected, and so they needed both of us. So it was a full clear out of couches, furniture, and cleaning, and it was a 2-day project, and all day, both days, and yeah, that was a really big one for both of us. Yeah, and we just had to combine our services, and since then, yeah, we do it a lot. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have. Yeah, she helps me honestly with more than you could think of, and then same goes. I help her with a lot too.
Yeah, he was my first employee or contractor.
Well, I love that. I mean, we've had guests on the show before who have, husband and wife teams who have kind of worked for the same business, but for you to each have a business that honestly complements each other really well. I mean, that's a fascinating dynamic. You mentioned there are some challenges and lessons and that kind of stuff that you've learned. Kind of two sides of the same coin of a question. What would you do differently, and what advice would you give to someone?
I almost think we could have just merged as one, but I don't know if I would have done that differently. What do you think?
Offered a home services, you know what I mean, to where it's all in one. I would say for just personally what I would do differently, I think when I first got here, I was running around like a chicken with his head cut off kind of thing, because just trying to, am I doing this right? Is this correct? I think if I would have, I think marketing when I first came here would have helped me, kind of, because I tried to I kind of went out to try to find clients, and in doing that kind of missed out on building some other things. So I think if maybe I would have marketed a little bit better and had the clients actually come to me, and then I could have spent the time, fixing up a couple of other little things.
Yeah, just the logistics, I think, going
That's
into it of,
word.
Yeah, everything, the business and having things better set up before we went into it. I think we both just dove headfirst into everything.
And then figured it out later once.
Yeah, I guess even if we would have started somewhere, but a little more than what we had, it would have maybe made things a little easier down the road. But yeah.
Thank you for your time today. Thank you for joining us for this conversation. We appreciate you guys sharing, those insights. So you are with Bell's Organic Maids and Bell's Handyman and Construction Services. How can people find out more about your businesses?
So for my company, you can look us up on Google at Bell's Organic Maids, and with that, we'll have a Google page, and you can see our website, contact info, reviews, pictures, all of that. So yeah.
And I'm still working on getting a perfect website, but you could definitely call or text my number at 724-914-8393.
All right. And I will say I've had help from both of your businesses. I've been very appreciative of it, and it's been great working with both of you. So again, thank you for being on the podcast. All right, listener. Well, we hope that you enjoyed that wonderful conversation that we just had with Reagan and Cameron as we found out about how small businesses grow and how you have to pivot sometimes and deal with new challenges. Today's inspirational moment is a quote related to that by Anthony Volodkin, which is, "Be undeniably good. No marketing effort or social media buzzword can be a substitute for that." I'll say that again. Be undeniably good. No marketing effort or social media buzzword can be a substitute for that. So no matter what line of work you're in, if you do a great job, that is the best testimonial that you can have moving forward.
Thank you so much for those words of wisdom. Thank you to our special guests today. Thank you, listener, for taking your time to listen to some of our ramblings. You've been listening to the What's Up Castleberry podcast with your hosts, Alia, Carlos, Andy, all put together by producer Robin Kepi, who thinks she's the boss and keeps us all in line, and we're grateful for her. You can like and subscribe our podcast on your podcast feed, and if you do so, that helps us claim the ratings, where we are currently the #1 podcast in Castleberry. Check us out online at whatsupcastleberry.com, and until next time, take care and God